Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next video, and a little something different this time. Just back to doing give my thoughts on an upcoming movie, which from the title, which I've been wanting to give my thoughts though because I just want to get it out of the way because otherwise, oh, what are you gonna think of this? Okay, it looks gonna be fun, right? You know. So right now, just to give my thoughts on why I paused. I don't know why I blanked out there. Because I don't know. It's my thoughts on the upcoming Avengers Doomsday film. It's gonna come out, which was supposed to come out next year, 2026 in May, but they delayed it. Which, well, I can see why they delayed it till basically till Christmas of later in 2026. So it's gonna wait like pretty much almost a whole way over a year till, because we're in July still this year, so it's gonna be way over a year. But Avengers Doomsday, what do I give my thoughts on this? Because I don't know what more I can say about this film because I know it hasn't came out yet, but it just thought that what I've said before time and time again about my thoughts on past superhero movies or just the genre in general. I said before like how I'm so burnt out on superhero films. I'm tired of seeing them. They should just take a long, long leave of absence. Just disappear for a good, I don't know, 10 years. Just give everybody a break because people are seeing this too about the whole superhero fatigue, in the box office lately. People are seeing this too because it shows that people are also getting tired of superhero movies. Over the past few years, the box office hasn't been that good lately, except for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the only one that made $1 billion. No, like I said, I like Deadpool Wolverine, I do, but the reason why I made that money because of the chemistry people wanted to see between Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what they wanted. That's why the film made money. That's because of that. Because that's what fans wanted. But and also the last Guardians of the Galaxy film, the third one was also the only good one I liked as well. That made money though. But but that's two of them though. Over the several other ones for the past maybe about 5 or so years, have not been that great. You know, it hasn't. And it's not just for Marvel. It goes the same for DC as well. But it's just like the whole thing about superhero films in general. People are seeing that though. And now I'm saying, will this film make $1 billion? I will say though, because all the Avengers films have, especially the last two ones, made over 2 billion. Now, will it make possibly 2 billion? Maybe, because it's in December, and not much competition comes out in December, let alone in the leading into the next year in January and February. So I probably guarantee it probably would be. But I know it'll make over $1 billion. I know that for a fact though, because all the Avengers films have. So and all the past superhero films, most except for Deadpool, Wolverine, Guardians 3, all the rest of the films have sucked. Starting back in 20, ever since like I said before, I'm not a fan of Avengers Infinity War. I am not. I'm sorry. I'm just not okay. Other films like Ant-Man, the second film, Ant-Man and the Wasp was forgettable. And then I don't like Captain Marvel. I don't like Black Panther. I think that one's overrated. Um, like I said, I don't like Infinity War. To me, I thought it was boring. I'm sorry. Um, After that, and yes, I am not overall. I'm not a fan of Avengers Endgame. I don't. I know that's blasphemy though, but I don't like Avengers Endgame. I mean, it's just, I mean, it was absolutely. I mean, especially also in the Marvel films. Like, also I don't like Thor Ragnarok and um what else came out in 20? That was 22 too. What else? Well, yeah, I don't like Black Widow. Yeah, that's another one. I don't like Black Widow. Filler the movie, pointless. And also the recurring thing is the humor, which is not was not getting for me. You know, I just don't, but not liking the humor in these movies because that's the problem. They're trying to make it too much into a comedy. That's the thing. You know, when like Avengers Endgame, which Thor is a joke. He's a fat fuck. Of course, I hate the Hulk now. Taking selfies, eating breakfast, tacos, burritos, whatever. You know, and and the Hulk was a coward. You know, scared because he got his ass kicked by Thanos. But now they made him do a total chicken shit, and that's why they merged. And now Banner is now with the Hulk and taking selfies and all that stuff. You know, the Hulk is a joke. I hate the Hulk now. Okay, I say now that Mark Ruffalo, he's the worst. Okay, he's the worst Hulk. And yes, I know. In real life, he's a piece of shit too. Okay, in real life too as well. All right. I don't like now. It comes to I don't like Mark Ruffalo, and I don't like him as he's the worst Hulk. Wish they would stuck with Edward. I think I wish would have stuck. We would got Edward Norton from the Incredible Hulk, or even Eric Bana. But I am one of with Eric Bana. I'm one of the very few people that will defend the 2003 Hulk film. You know, so but it's more on that layer though. But I just don't like this Hulk anymore. I mean, just in Infinity War, like I said, I just or was it Endgame? It was Endgame. Sorry, yeah, but just in Endgame. Then when they travel back, and then like Captain America look at his alternate self and his past self is like, oh, that's America's ass. And like I said, I mean, Thor is a fat fuck, lazy ass now, and he's a joke. And as much as they say the same with the Hulk, I just don't, and I know the whole finale. I know, and then I just don't like Endgame. And then afterwards, Spider-Man Far From Home. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I like Tom Holland, but it's just over time now. It's dwindled for me. It has. And then like I said, then after that, then but I said I don't like Black Widow. I definitely don't like Eternals. I hate Shang-Chi. I don't like Simu Liu. I don't. He said some stupid shit as well. I don't. I mean, does anyone nowadays care about Shang-Chi? You know, does anyone care about about Shang-Chi? No, I don't. Probably don't think so. Eternals was a complete snooze fest. Like I said, Thor, Love and Thunder, didn't like. People would probably didn't like uh, Love and Thunder. Oh, Christian Bale, he was good though, but I think they cut a lot of his shit out though. Wow, go figure. I don't like Black Panther 2. It's absolute boring. Sherry, I'm sorry, the only one who's Black Panther is Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace to him. So, and what else? 2022. What came out? What else came out in 2022? What was it? I know the Batman came out in 2022. I do like that film. I do like that version. I'm one of the few people probably like because I don't know why the people got a lot of people that did not like the Batman, but I liked it. I even like the Suicide Squad, the second one. So and but then what else? After that, I'm trying to think. Ant Man Quantumania sucked. I like Jonathan Majors as King the Conqueror, but then the whole bullshit of him, the whole domestic violence he did, that got him shit cans from Marvel. You know, if he didn't do that, then he would probably still be would get probably get him instead of Doctor Doom. But yeah, ignore that. But yeah, I and once again, it was trying to do some humor, but it didn't work. With the whole thing that I forgot that character was the liquid guy who was him in his holes. So, but then I said Ant-Man Quantumania sucked, and then what else? I'm trying to think. Just trying to wrap my mind around this. Oh yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home sucked. That's another one. I mean, yeah, they brought these characters back. You know, Alfred Molina, I do like. Tom Holland was still good. They made his character as such a freaking idiot. And then Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness. So much. It's like I'm so tired of I'm so tired of all this. So tired. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I can't go on. I'm this much in. I'm not talking about the movie. Okay. What's that? I'm just tired of superhero movies. Like I said earlier this year, I don't like Thunderbolts. I don't give a shit about Fantastic Four. I don't. They have all these superhero films. Like I said, do I give a shit about Fantastic Four now? No, I don't. But anyway, but getting into the movie itself, I think this is gonna be just an absolute clusterfuck. That's why I think that's the bottom line because it's only that it's also desperation because bringing Robert Downey Jr. because the reason they brought Robert Downey Jr. They're bringing him back because it's a sign of desperation because he was one of the big faces that carried the MCU, and pretty much ever since Endgame, right? The films have been doing that well per se, right? Except for Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine, Guardians 3. But other than that, though, I mean, the Marvels, which another one I hated, it sucked, and that flopped big time. I mean, and then especially I pretty much hate all the TV shows. Especially She Hulk sucked. If Secret Invasion sucked. Then Winter Soldier and Falcon Winter Soldier that sucked big time. I rented that one. I hated that. I hated WandaVision. This time I don't give a shit about Loki. I mean, I just don't care about. I hated all these TV shows. And I saw the first episode of Ironheart. Yes, I did, and that was stupid. See, this is what I mean. It's superhero fatigue. People are not interested in these anymore, and it shows. So this is why they want to bring Robert Downey Jr. back and him playing as Doctor Doom. This is why, because he was a big household name, carried these him and Chris Evans carried the franchise. So that's why they're bringing back. It's desperation. They figure, now he's Iron Man. Now he's Doctor Doom. Oh, we'll go see that, because it's Robert Downey Jr. It's desperate. They're just being desperate. They're grasping at straws here. And the reaction, even the reaction was mixed about it. Some people were even mixed about them, like the negative people were like, really, they bringing it back. People at the Comic-Con when they were that happened, they were like, oh yay, it's like people watching the trailer. When I see people watching the trailer first time, they get so overly excited, and then by the time the film came out, no, it's not. It wasn't all that I get all excited for. So that's the first thing. Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. That's a sign of desperation. Okay, they're great. They're just so desperate. And then bringing all these characters back, like it shows even more desperate because they want to bring in the X-Men and then all the new Avengers from Thunderbolts, the Thunderbolts, the new Avengers, and everyone. They want to throw everybody in there. And just going through the cast, I'm just like, there's a list of 27 cast members on here. I mean, starting off, you got Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Hemsworth. I like Chris Hemsworth. I mean, I liked him in the first Thor film. You know what? I'd rather watch his Extraction movies from Netflix. Really, you do 1 and 2. I really liked. He was good in those 2 films. I liked him in the first Thor film, but then he's started becoming just a running joke now. as he's keep on going along. I think Chris Hemsworth needs to quit the role. Okay, I think he's overstayed his welcome in this franchise, especially the other films he's been doing, like the what was the prequel to Mad Max. Um, what was her name? It was that one, Furiosa. That's what it was. Him acting goofy in that as well. Either the other than being in the extraction films, he needs to freaking fire his angel. Stop taking on roles that are goofy for him. I would just rather watch. Uh, he wasn't total all acting goofy in the first Thor film. If you think about it, so I could watch him in the first Thor. I'd rather watch him in the extraction movies. But I think Chris Hemsworth has overstayed his welcome in this franchise. Vanessa Kirby, who is as Invisible Woman, nothing to say right now. Anthony Mackie, I like Anthony Mackie. I think to me he's a shitty Captain America. I mean, back when the first Winter Soldier, I liked him back when he was a Falcon, but now playing Captain America, I'm sorry, he's not fit to be Captain America. He doesn't look like he's Captain America, okay? Especially, I hated his character. I hated him in his TV show, sympathizing with murderers and terrorists. I'm saying that's, oh, they're not terrorists. Then what do you call them when they blow up buildings and murder innocent people? What do you call that, dumbass? Especially when you're going undercover and not knowing they don't know who you are. Don't bother to turn up your fucking phone. So oh, who is this? Answer the phone. Oh, Sam. I hated him. I'm sorry. I like Anthony Mackie, but I hated his character in that TV show. I hated it. And it's like, oh, him sympathizing with the characters, the bad guys. They're not terrorists. Yes, they are. Okay, they're murderers. And then comes go shows Captain America: Brave New World sucked. Like I said, I like Anthony Mackie. I liked him in other films. I liked him when he was in The Hurt Locker. I heard good things in that TV show he was starring in called Twisted Metal, was based on the video game. I saw the trailer. It looks kind of good. But I haven't yet seen it though. But he to me he's not he was better as a Falcon. Well, he's a shitty Captain America. Okay, I don't see him as leading the Avengers. I don't. Sebastian Stan, he'll probably look as bored in this film as he did in Thunderbolts. Okay, looking at him in Thunderbolts, he was so bored looking he didn't want to be in the movie. All he did in Thunderbolts was, the whole thing in the desert where he yanked a car and then he blocked a flipping car, a van, to protect an older couple with his metal arm. It doesn't show you. It doesn't do much. It shows you doesn't want to be there anyway. Especially when he takes out his arm in a dishwasher. So the next, Letitia Wright. I'm sorry, like I said before, she's not Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. He's the one who's only Black Panther. I know this. I have a problem about recasting, but thing is, they'll just either you just recast it or just shouldn't make the movie at the second film at all. And personally, I overall didn't give a shit about Shuri, T'Challa's younger sister. I overall didn't give a shit about her. She's not Black Panther. To me, it's always be Chadwick Boseman. Paul Rudd, he's another guy like Chris Hemsworth. He's another guy who has overstayed his welcome as Ant-Man. Okay, I mean, I like him though, but I think he's another guy who's also overstayed his welcome in this franchise. Because I like the first Ant-Man. Like I said, Ant-Man 2 and the Ant-Man the Wasp was forgettable, and then 3 sucked. Wyatt Russell, to me, like I said, when I ranted on that, he was the best part in that TV show. I felt sorry for his character, because of all the shit he got, and especially when Sam was giving him so much shit, and Bucky too, constantly giving him shit. I'm like, Sam Wilson, you're the one to talk, okay? You gave up the shield, all right? You gave it up, and now you're still complaining about it. And I felt sorry for John Walker. They murdered his friend, which Sam calls they're not terrorists. They murdered his friend, his partner, and I don't blame him when he used the shield when he killed smashed that guy's head in. Oh no, he killed his friend. What more can you say? Okay, to me he was in the right. But yeah, he got constantly got shit on in that show, and Thunderbolts they still did, and yet at the same time they shit on him and they made him an absolute a goofy dumbass. You know, a dumbass goofy, a goof. And like in the post credits about where Garden when about space when the Fantastic Four comes in, and it's like, what? There's we said about the space crisis. Like we're running out of space. She meant the one up outer space. I'm like, so they shit on his character, and they at the same time they made him a complete goof. Now, Tano Haruta, he's the guy who played Namor in the second Black Panther film. I am sorry. He to me he did not impress me as Namor. He didn't. He did not impress me. So if I didn't give a shit about him in Black Panther, even my dad, we saw in the theater, he thought my dad he thought Black Panther 2 was one of those boring of the MCU. His words, not mine, and he did not like how they interpreted Namor, because he liked Namor growing up with the comics, being one of the oldest characters in Marvel Comics, and he said it was a horrible rendition of Namor. His words, not mine. I'm just going about what my dad said. So yeah, and oh yeah, because yeah, he had he may have had the green spandex he had and the wings on his ankles. Sure, okay, that's what Namor is. But still, I don't think this guy did not impress me as Namor. So do I give a shit about in this movie? No, I don't. Eben Moss, Backrack, he plays the new Ben Grimm, the Thing. No comment on him. I just don't. And as I said before, Simu Liu. Does anyone give a shit about? Does anyone give a shit about Shang-Chi? Does anybody give a damn about him? I don't. And plus, Simu Liu, he's an idiot. Anyway, okay. We all say stupid shit, okay, but come on, I mean, I've said stupid shit on here before, though, but do I admit it? Yeah, I do, okay? But this guy, I don't give a damn about... does anyone here, raise your hand, does anyone care, since then, no anyone cares about Shang-Chi? And the 10 Rings of Faith. No, I don't. Florence Pugh as Yelena, Natasha's sister, the other Black Widow. Don't care about her. I didn't care about her in the Black Widow film. Not even in Thunderbolts. Although I did like the one moment where her and Red Guardian had that little moment talking in the city, right? The little heartfelt moment. I will give it that. But Florence Pugh, don't care about Yelena. Especially, I don't like her when she was starring that film Midsommar. Yeah, does anyone remember her when she started in Midsommar? Kelsey Grammer, like I said, now we're bringing in the X-Men. They're bringing back Kelsey Grammer, which I do like as an actor. Kelsey Grammer is a good actor. I liked him when he played Beast in the third X-Men film. He was in that after credits in the Marvels when Rambo went to another world and she was in the X-Men mansion when she saw someone who looked exactly like a different version of her mother. And then Kelsey Grammer walks in as the Beast, which CGI'd, because it's motion capture now. That it's motion capture, not a suit anymore. So no makeup, So, but Kelsey Grammer, I do like though. But like I said, this is sign of desperation here. Let's by bringing in the original X-Men. Kelsey Grammer has to be what in his 70s now. So he's not gonna do like the moves like he did almost. Yeah, 2026. Yeah, 20 years. So by the time this film comes out, it would have been 20 years since X-Men: The Last Stand came out. So he probably is in his 70s. He probably Probably wouldn't do that the physical movements like he did back and he did when he did X-Men: The Last Stand. Yeah. So Louis Pullman, he was one of the best. He was pretty much the best part in Thunderbolts. I liked him as Sentry. His story. Is he gonna be able to save the film? No. Or by the next film, when this one comes out, he'll probably be a. They probably change it with his character. Or probably end up being a goofy dumbass too. Probably. Who knows? Danny Danny Ramirez as the new Falcon. Don't freaking remember him in Brave New World. Yeah, he probably wasn't in Falcon Winter Soldier, yeah, but I didn't remember him back then either. So didn't give a shit about him in Brave New World. Not right now. Joseph Quinn, he's the new Johnny Storm. Human Torch, you say. Like I said, no comment on it. I don't care about the I don't care about the new Fantastic Four. I don't. David Harbour. Screw David Harbour. Okay. I think he said super shit as well. I liked him when he. The best thing he did when he played Santa Claus in Violent Night. I do want to look forward to Violent Night too because I really did enjoy the first one. But I think that's the best thing that David Harbour has done. I know I don't care about Stranger Things. I know it's one everybody loves that show to death. I don't care about it. David Harbour, screw David Harbour. Winston Duke as the M'Baku or the comics Man-Ape, don't care. He is probably his side character anyway. Hannah John Hannah John came in as Ghost. Didn't give a shit about Ghost either. Didn't give a shit about her in the second Ant-Man film or in Thunderbolts. Don't. No one even cares. No one cares about Ghost. Tom Hiddleston once again is Loki. He outlived his purpose serving as Loki. I think he's another one who was overstayed his welcome as well. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen as once again as Professor Xavier and Magneto. Both of them are in their mid 80s now. What can they possibly do much? Because they're both in their mid 80s. I like both of them, but they're in their mid 80s now. They should not be. They don't have the. They're in the prime when they first started in the first X-Men movie. I mean, Patrick Stewart. I mean, he died in Logan. Well, supposedly he died in in X-Men Last Time, but he was alive in the. Listen in the credits though, but it's like he died. He died in that way. And he died in Logan, and he died again in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. So he's gonna die again in this movie too. I mean, that's kind of like making Professor X look like a big, this powerful telepathic guy we first saw in the first two X-Men films, and now he's pretty much being killed off like he's a freaking sissy now. Jeez. Ian McKellen, like I said, just like both of them in their 80s. They can't do much what they can when they're in their 80s nowadays, mid 80s. I think Patrick Stewart is 85, and I think Ian McKellen, he's like the year older, so he's 86. They can't do much what they can what they used to anymore. It's the same thing with freaking Harrison Ford in the last Indiana Jones film. He's in his 80s too. Like he can't do much. As Indiana Jones. So, and then Alan coming back as Nightcrawler. Boy, is he in his 60s as well. He probably can't do much like he did in X-Men 2. Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. James Marsden as Cyclops. I think I said before. I think what was the film I reviewed that he was in? Oh yeah, that's right. The Sonic movies. I like him. He was decent in the Sonic films, but the thing is though, I like him as Cyclops. But the thing is though, as a person, he's a piece of shit. Okay, he defends pedos. Okay. To me, like I said, anyone who defends pedophiles, no. Okay. No one should defend people who are into little kids and sexually assault or whatever. Okay. No one should never defend pedophiles. That's the bottom line. Okay. And James Marsden, he defended this one guy. I know I forget the name. I talked about I think a while back though, but he defended that guy. I'm sorry, James Marsden. You're good as Cyclops. Okay, decent in the Sonic films, but you know what? You're an asshole. Okay, so fuck James Marsden. Channing Tatum. How are they gonna fit him as Gambit? We saw him when he was in the Void. Maybe they got him out like I said, and what Wade said in the end of the movie. We had some friends. Maybe we can help them out. How is it gonna fit? Because that's another problem. Okay, but let me get the end down list first before I get to that. And then you got Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. I like Pedro Pascal. I liked him. I like him. I enjoy him as the Mandalorian. He was great in the Mandalorian. Um, I do like him in the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent when he was with him and Nicolas Cage. You know, I do like the bromance they had in that film. I do. The second Kingsman movie, The Golden Circle. I have not yet seen The Last of Us, the TV show that he got a lot of praise for. I didn't care, pretty much didn't care for him in Gladiator 2. But Pedro Pascal, I do like it, but he's another guy who says stupid shit as well, okay? I'm just what is it with all these people, just keep on saying stupid shit? Can't they just keep their freaking mouth shut, Keep if you're gonna say something that's gonna cause backlash, keep your opinions to yourself, okay? Yeah, I know I could probably say that. But the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, okay? I'm not gonna go along with people saying whatever, though, okay? I'm just gonna be honest, okay? I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, going along with the crowd, okay? But Pedro Pascal, he said stupid shit as well. And do I care about him, Mr. Fantastic? And probably no, I don't. Like I said, I don't give a shit about the new Fantastic Four either. And then, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. So, I mean, all these people, all these characters, that's gonna be another huge issue with this movie. You know, this is gonna probably be like pretty much like a 3 hour movie because you have all these characters. This is gonna be the main issue. Why this is gonna be such another, not only with the whole thing, but this is gonna be an absolute clusterfuck as well because you have all these characters, different groups, right? Like the first Avengers, then the new Avengers, and then then you got the X-Men and the Wakandans, and everyone has to interact with everybody, because we have this. We're gonna first of all, how the story is. We have to establish how Doctor Doom is, how he came to be, right? You know, is it? Oh, is it gonna be Tony Stark, or is it? Why is he this villain? I mean, the established interactions and the character development of Doctor Doom. Okay, then we had established with the X-Men interacting with other groups, right? Oh, because none of these faces never met anyone in this group, So we're gonna establish, how this group is gonna interact with this group, and if you get what I mean, all these characters interacting with each other because like I never seen you before. Who are you? And then who is this person? Like, oh, this is another group of people, a group of heroes called the X-Men. Who are you guys? It's like, see, this is what I mean. It's like, this is why I think it's gonna be such an absolute clusterfuck of a film because you have so many characters, so many. There's 27 people in this movie. Now, of course, they're gonna say, well, they're gonna bring in Jeremy Renner or Tom Holland or even Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell. I mean, just Chris. Chris. Who knows? So that's what I mean. Just throwing in all these people. I'm surprised like that Mark Ruffalo's not on the cast. I'm like, thank God, because I don't need to see him. Okay, I don't need to see any more of that piece of shit Hulk. Okay, thank God I don't need to see him in this. But it's like everybody. It's like you gotta establish who is Doctor Doom, and what's his gonna be purpose. Okay, and like I said, all the interactions, all the characters, especially all the different groups. I mean, with the Fantastic Four, how is they gonna establish how when they coming into the sacred timeline of the main timeline of the MCU? Who are they and then who they said with the X-Men and Fantastic Four and everyone else, the Wakandans. It's like this is gonna be such a long ass film because you have to establish all these interactions with so many characters, and the whole plot is like how are they gonna stop Doctor Doom, and then all the fight scenes, and then like I said, it's like it's gonna be an absolute hot mess. Okay, and this is the reason why they delayed it from May to December because of all this. Is it now? All of a sudden, does anybody look forward to this? I've everything over the how down the superhero film genre has gone, right? Like how much of the superhero genre has gone down from, right? From the Marvels to all the shitty TV shows and um Thunderbolts, Ant-Man Quantumania, all the other crappy ones like all the other ones like I mentioned. And also I'm surprised the Guardians like they didn't throw in the Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel is not in this. That's one that's another thing I think about it. It's like we don't need any more of these characters anyway. And just like so if so far how the superhero genre has been so far, does anybody look forward to Avengers Doomsday? Because like I said, it's a sign of desperation because they're so desperate to have a major hit, right? So you think they'll think they're gonna get a major hit because they're gonna throw in the original X-Men characters, the actors, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, because he helped carry this franchise up until Endgame, and since then the numbers have dwindled ever since, and it shows. Okay, so they had to be desperate. They got so desperate they had to bring him back, to sit to salvage this franchise. That just shows a pure desperation, and bringing back these old ass characters, all these actors as these characters. Like I said, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, they're in their mid 80s now. What more can they do? Like I said, Harrison Ford couldn't do much in the fifth Indiana Jones one because he's in his 80s too. Bringing back all these old characters that have been around for a long time, and I guarantee that this is why I'm right saying right now this film is gonna suck. It is. This makes Avengers: Age of Ultron look like a freaking masterpiece because to me I think that's the most underrated one of the MCU. I think, and I enjoy Age of Ultron. To me, I think that's the most underrated one of the MCU. And the Russo brothers, gotta mention. Oh yeah, gotta mention the Russo brothers. You know, back then when what was it did? They did that Netflix movie with Ryan Reynolds. I did not mind that film. I didn't. It has its issues, but the one they did with Ryan Reynolds, what they did, it was the one they did with Ryan Reynolds. Let me. The Gray Man. That's what it was. The Gray Man. No, it was. Oh, it was Ryan Gosling. That's what it was. Sorry, I got because they're both Ryan, so it was not Ryan Reynolds. It was Ryan Gosling. So I apologize for that. Yeah, the Gray Man with him and Chris Evans. Yeah, I did not mind the Gray Man. Yeah, like I said, it had issues, but I did not mind that film. Um, but and people tend to forget they directed like back then. What was it? Way back in the mid 2000s, they directed the comedy film You, Me, and Dupree with Owen Wilson and yeah, with Owen Wilson. People tend to forget that the Russo brothers directed that film. I'd rather watch You, Me, and Dupree over these movies. Actually, honestly, I mean, I did enjoy. I loved the Winter Soldier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. To me, that's my favorite of the MCU movies. I really loved Captain America: The Winter Soldier because I did like how the kind of like the it's like like a political, more like a political thriller in a way. Like the Harrison Ford films, like the Jack Ryan ones, like Clear and Present Danger or Patriot Games in a way. And that was one of the appeals I liked about it, and I like Robert Redford in that film, and to me, Captain America: Winter Soldier was my favorite of the is my favorite of the MCU, and I did enjoy Captain America: Civil War. I enjoyed that film as well. But I just think I don't think the Russo brothers are the god of directors that people make them out to be, because there's other directors I consider that were so much more better than them. I do. But because they made Infinity War and they made Endgame, now they're gonna direct this and Civil War, and they're directing this movie. I just don't think they're not the god directors that people make them out. I just don't think so. So I just to me the Russo brothers are to me are kind of are just getting to be so overrated now. So I don't want to make this as a long ass review, but I'm 40 minutes in. But at the beginning, I went off tangent because I was just explaining why I think the superhero movies have gone down so far. Why people are getting tired of them now. And for what I see from the box office, let me see here. What's the current new Superman movie is making so far? I'm just wondering. Wow. So far, before the weekend is over, because this is right now, I'm recording this on Saturday because Sunday usually when the numbers come in, right? So, but by this time this video is up, though, the numbers have already came in, though. But I'm watching it. I'm looking at it right now because this is Saturday. So as of the Saturday, as I'm recording this, it's Superman has made 437 million worldwide. So far that's less than what Zack Snyder's Man of Steel have made. Because Man of Steel made about over 600 million. So for what I'm seeing now, this film is making much less than that. Now, like I said, by the time this video is already up, the numbers are probably gone up a little bit more by then, you know. So, but from this video I'm watching right now on a Saturday, that's nothing to run. That's nothing to run home screaming about the new Superman movie that people were so looking forward to. You know, I'm like, right now this made a lot less than Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and let alone a lot less than Batman v Superman. So I don't think that James Gunn did made it that tremendous of an impact that he probably thought it would be. You know. So like so far as another example of signs of superhero fatigue. Like the numbers speak for itself. You know, people got lucky with Deadpool Wolverine because, like I said, people were lying to see that chemistry, a real chemistry between Deadpool and Wolverine. That's what made the film work for me. But results, all the other movies, you know, and the ratings of the TV shows as well, you know. So, what do I say? Yeah. So overall, my final thoughts, you know, because I'm probably gonna talk about this until it leading into the next year. So, will I say this film's gonna suck? Yes. Okay. I'm saying it right now. This film is Avengers Doomsday will suck. Let alone suck ass. Okay? Unless it somehow pulls a miracle and surprises me otherwise, then I'll give a formal apology and I'll man up and apologize, okay? But the track record of superhero films of lately, no, I'm not holding my breath on that. So yeah, I will say this film is going to suck big time. Like I said, it's gonna be an absolute clusterfuck. I guarantee that with so many characters, with all the action scenes and all the interactions and establishing the character, especially who is Doctor Doom is, and etc. etc. Usually they just call it Avengers Desperation. That's what it is. It's nothing but desperation. This is why I think superhero movies need to go away for quite a bit, you know, and give us a freaking break. Because I'm so tired of superhero movies. Yes, there was a couple I liked though recently, but like Deadpool, Wolverine, and Guardians 3. But you know what? Overall, I'm still tired of it. I don't give a shit about Fantastic Four. Okay, critics like it. Okay, that's their opinions. I don't give a shit. Okay, Pedro Pascal is an idiot, and so especially a lot of these other actors who are idiots. So anyway, that's it. So that's my thoughts on Avengers Doomsday. It's gonna suck. Okay, I know it is. So, but just yeah, feel free to let me know. Do you look forward to this, or are you in the same boat as me? Are you showing that of that superhero fatigue motion, right? But just feel free to let me know, because if you're looking forward to it, good on you. But knowing that the whole trending of how superhero films have gone down the past couple of years, so I can see why, and let alone the box office numbers speak for itself. Except like I said, except for Deadpool, Wolverine, okay. But the rest of them, I'm talking about. So, but will this film make money? I have no doubt it will, because it's an Avengers movie. Will it make over $1 billion? Yeah. Will it possibly make $2 billion like the previous two did? Possibly. So, and it's in December, so it probably won't be much competition anyway. So, that's my thoughts on Avengers Doomsday. Fuck this. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next video. So, just let me know your comments. I'll feel free to look at them and see to hear your thoughts though. But like I said, my opinion, it's gonna suck. No doubt about it. In my opinion, clusterfuck as it is. Jeez. Later.